besties. Hi, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. I'm Alanna. I love books, and so we are here to talk about books. This week I am doing a audiobooks for a week. So I am choosing 3 audiobooks this week. I know the first one is The Clinic by Kate Quinn, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I already finished it. Before I even actually started this video, because I picked it up at work, listening to it, because I had grabbed the audiobook at the end of last month and it was about to expire, so I wanted to listen to it. But this was really good. I gave it a 3.5. This story, it was pretty slow at the beginning and then really ramped up in the last like 150 pages. It wasn't boring throughout. Like, don't get me wrong, no part of it was like super boring or anything. It was just more of a slow building the story up, kind of. But this book follows Meg. She works at a casino in LA and she tries to catch cheaters and like loan sharks and stuff like that. And she plays all these different characters built around the person they're trying to catch. But she is also addicted to pills. She got hurt on the job. She got a shoulder injury. And she was on oxycodone and she got addicted. And now she just pops pills all the time and she drinks a lot. And we are following her as she finds out about her sister Haley, who has been in rehab at this really fancy rehabilitation center. It's a remote facility. It's like a very high class, kind of resort-like rehabilitation center. Very expensive. Her sister is a famous actress, but I also think that she's a singer. But she ends up going to rehab because she is a druggie, and Meg finds out that her sister is dead. That they think it's being reported that she committed suicide, but Meg doesn't believe it. Meg does not believe that that's what happened. The way in which it came about, Meg said Haley would never do. So she decides that she's gonna go kind of undercover in this clinic to figure out what happened to her sister, because she doesn't believe what they're being told. She doesn't believe it at all. So she goes through, and she is an addict, so she goes in and she's going to try to get help for herself, but not really, because she doesn't really want help. She just wants to figure out what happened to her sister. And you just follow her while she's in this clinic and meeting these other addicts, and you see addicts of all different kinds. Like, there are drug addicts, there are sex addicts, it's a lot of drug and like alcohol type stuff, different forms of drugs. Like, she's pharmaceuticals, and then there's like a heroin, cocaine, and then you have a sex addict, and there's another one that I don't really know what his addiction is, but I know he's very aggressive and kind of abusive and stuff. But I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed seeing her kind of make connections and open up with these people and finding out what happened to her sister. And like, this book was gonna be a 3-star until the last like 100 pages, when everything really started to ramp up. And there are 2 twists. One is toward the end, and then one is in the epilogue. So it's just very, like, the very end of this just really, like, had me reeling, and I really enjoyed it. And the first twist I kind of saw coming, but not in the way that it came about. Like, I thought that I thought something about someone, and it ended up being right, but how I was right was wrong, if that makes any sense. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give it away for anybody who is planning to read this, but I really do recommend this. I absolutely loved this. I did only give it 3.5 stars because the beginning was so slow. But I did really enjoy it still. Like, I enjoyed when I was listening to it. I do have, obviously, the actual book itself, and this book isn't, like, the words are pretty big and the chapters are really short, which is nice. So if you just want to pick up something where you can read a few chapters and not have it take you ages, this is a great book to pick up. The audiobook was also really good. I quite enjoyed that. I listened to it on Hoopla, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm sorry that I didn't like start this video and actually tell you guys what we were doing this week, but I picked it up as something to listen to at work, and it was part of my March TBR. I just wanted to give you guys some updates. I will be back with an update with the next book we choose as our audiobook, but I will be back when I have some more updates and with the next book for you. Hi again. The next book that I picked up, I have not finished this one, is Kingdom of Claw by Demi Winters. This is the second book in the Ashen series. I read the first book of this in February and I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm very excited to get into this. I'm like on chapter 6. I'm in the middle of chapter 6 at this point because I was listening to it at work. So I'm like this far in. I'm not very far. I'm on page like somewhere after page 47. But I'm enjoying it so far. Not a ton has happened. It definitely picks up right where the last book left off, so I don't want to touch too much on what's going on in it because if anybody hasn't read the first book, I don't want to, you know, give anything away. But the last book ends kind of in a way that I expected but didn't expect because of the people involved. But this starts off with those same people. Like, after the prologue, it starts off with the same people. And we also find out about Scylla. In the first book, we find out who Scylla is and somebody who is connected to her. So this book also has portions in that person who's connected to her's perspective as well, which I think is interesting. So it's going to be fun to see, like, where she is and where this person connected to her is and who she's with, all these different, like, storylines, because it's so far we've gotten POVs from all three of them, which I think is cool. And I'm interested to see if a betrayer turns up in this book. I figure they're probably going to, and I'm going to be super salty if they do, because they made me upset last time. But I'm only on chapter 6 of this. I don't really have much to update on, and I honestly don't think I'm going to have too many, like, actual thoughts about what's going on in the book, because I don't want to give it away for anybody. But I'll give you guys updates, like how far I am, how I'm liking it, if that position's changed at all. I'll try to give you some basic story, like, information that's not gonna spoil anything, but we'll see how we go from there. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in and give you guys a little update. I don't know if I'm gonna read any more of this tonight because I'm also in the middle of another video as well, so I do have another book that I have to read for another video still that I should really start actually reading. But yeah, I will give you guys an update when I have one next. Hello, my loves. So this is future me, or editing me, and to give you guys my final thoughts on Kingdom of Claw, because I'm trying to edit my video and I realized that I only have one clip for Kingdom of Claw, and it was introducing the video to you guys. It literally wasn't even really an update because I was only on chapter 6. So I have my Fable pulled up. So I ended up rating this 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the relationships that we saw in this and the growth of a relationship that we see in this book. I think the plot is really good. It's really nice seeing Scylla kind of grow into who she is and seeing her discovering, like, the magic and stuff that she has and who she is, and accepting, like, fully kind of accepting who she is and not trying to hide from it. There's a lot of really, really, like, twisty, interesting things that happen in this. Like, we have somebody from the first book come back that I'm very, very salty with, as you'll see in the last clip, because it's this clip and the clip introducing the book. I was going to be very upset if a character from the first book came back, and that character did in fact come back. And I'm unthrilled. I could very much do without. I get why they have to be there, but I don't like it. I really enjoyed the found family in this book. We go back to a hometown of one of the characters, and they have friends. They're friends, but they also are kind of like irritated with each other all the time, that we get to meet, and they become a pretty big part of this story. I just really enjoyed watching Scylla kind of start to trust people again and open up and like make friends and be very upset like when they have to leave them and stuff like that. But I also enjoyed in this, you get multiple points of view. So you get Scylla's point of view, and then Scylla has a sister who you also get the point of view from, and they are both in different places in very different circumstances. So you kind of get to see a little bit from both of their points of view, which I think was really good. I really enjoyed her sister Saga's point of view. Some parts of this were definitely slower than others, but I was still engaged with it through the whole thing. Like, it wasn't like anything was super boring and I like was losing interest. There were just some points that were a lot more action-packed and energetic and stuff like that, but it wasn't boring at all. It was just there were some parts that were a little bit more slow and kind of building more on the plot and the book itself and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed it. It did leave off on a cliffhanger, and it didn't just leave off on a cliffhanger with one point of view. It left off on a cliffhanger from multiple points of view. So we're just kind of left in limbo trying to figure out what's happening on both, like all sides, trying to figure out where we're going. There is another point of view in this, but I'm not going to really mention it because I don't want to mention who it is or give any inkling of who it is. But I really enjoyed the relationships in this and the found family and the kind of acceptance of who you are, even though you're terrified too. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in as I'm editing this and give you guys a little bit of an update, well, the final update, because I've been searching through my files and I went back into my camera because I haven't deleted anything off of it. It was like uploading all the things that I hadn't uploaded yet and rewatching old like clips, and my updates for this are just gone. I swore I made one, but for the life of me, I don't know where it is. So here we are, updating you on my final thoughts for Kingdom of Claw. I'm very excited for the next book to come out. I know it's going to take a while because this one just came out, but I really enjoyed it, and I think that it's a very interesting fantasy, romantasy type world. So I definitely recommend it if you haven't picked up Road of Bones yet. This is the Ashen series by Demi Winters. If you have not picked up Road of Bones, I highly suggest it. And then I really, really enjoyed the second one, so I'm very excited to see where the rest of the story goes. I don't really know how many books are supposed to be in this series, but I'm very excited to see where it goes when the next one comes out. And yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that update, and I'll bring you back to past me with our next book. Hello, my loves. Hello, my besties. Hi, welcome in. I'm here to give you guys a little bit of an update. I started an audiobook today at work. I believe it's going to be the last book of our video this week. And it was Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I finished it at work today. It said it was going to take like 7.5 hours or something, but I listened to it on 2 times speed, so it went by much quicker than that. And I really liked it. I gave it a 3.25 star. I enjoyed the plot of it. I enjoyed the story. It follows a girl named Trisha and her new husband, Ethan. They've only known each other for a little over a year. They ran into each other at a coffee shop and like really hit it off and ended up getting engaged pretty quickly and then getting married pretty quickly. And they are currently living in an apartment in Manhattan, but they are looking to get a house. And this story follows them. They go to visit this house. They've seen a bunch of houses the past few months. and they saw a listing for this listing and they really liked it, so they wanted to go see it, and they set up a showing with their realtor. And when they go, it happens to be on a night that there is a blizzard, like a really bad snowstorm, and they end up getting snowed in for like the weekend at this house that they don't own, that their realtor didn't make it to. And it follows them just kind of being there and then trying to, like, you know, survive. But there's like weird things that are going on, like the fridge has some food in it, even though the person who had lived there went missing, has been missing for a few years, and everything is like covered in dust. But there was a weird footprint that they found. The fridge has food in it, and they're just chalking, her husband's just chalking it up to, you know, maybe their realtor Judy had come by earlier before the snowstorm and had put some stuff in the house, which is weird because obviously nobody's living there, and why would she put food in the house just for a showing? Like, especially like lunch meat and stuff. Like, it's not even just like a tray of cookies or anything. Like, it's actual food. And it just goes through this whole ordeal where she thinks there's somebody in the house and he doesn't think that there is because he's not seeing all the things that she's seeing. And the person who had lived there was a really, really well-known psychiatrist, and she was like a really good author, well-known author, and she had gone missing, and it's believed that her boyfriend at the time did it. So she finds this hidden door. Essentially, she goes to pull a book off of one of the shelves that she wants to read, since they're going to be stuck there. And when she tries to take the book off, it opens a secret passage. The one she happens to pull is her favorite book, and she wanted to read it, so she pulls it down, and it happens to be a lever, essentially, to open this hidden room. And when she goes into this hidden room, it is full of cassette tapes, like recorded cassette tapes of the owner and her patients through the years. And it's just a really interesting story. Like, I was pulled into it the whole time. It's just not something like I was super in love with or anything. I rated 3.25 stars. I did enjoy it. It was quick, easy. It was a nice little palate cleanser. It had an interesting plot and story, and the twists were... There were some interesting twists going on in this that I can say that I enjoyed. Like, the back half of the book picked up quite a bit more, and I enjoyed that a lot. But I just wanted to come in and give you guys that update. That is going to be our last book for this video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed and that you stay happy, healthy, and safe. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and I really would love to hear from you guys. So if anybody has any thoughts on any of the books that I read, listened to in this video during this week, please let me know. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear them. I hope you guys stay happy, healthy, and safe, and I will see you guys the next time that I see you. Bye!